some time. I've dropped a message. Let's see if someone joins. Otherwise, we can start in a minute. So basically, we'll be starting with the alarm clock thing today. Okay, so we'll try to create a clock, and we'll see how that is done in an application using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and other things we can add to it. So let's see that part. So timing functions and DOM are enough to like create all these things. Okay, so we'll be basically dealing with like like how to use the date constructor. So we'll see something as date constructor and we use it. And with the help of that, we'll identify what's the current time. And once we are done with that current time, so we can iterate over this. So let's just wait for a minute, and then I guess we can dig it. If someone has done good, otherwise we can start. Hi, Adarsh.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll be combining both the timing and the DOM, and we'll see like how to like play with time and when I say time, not the real time. Okay, like clock, alarm clocks, timer, or set timeout. So how these things work and um, how we can combine the knowledge of both timing functions, uh, date constructor, and let's say DOM APIs to like create a clock like thing. Okay, let's see. We'll start that.
So then मेरा एक डाउट है
हम्म,
प्लेसमेंट के रिलेटेड
क्या डाउट है?
लाइक जब प्लेसमेंट स्टार्ट होगा तो फिर
हम्म।
ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट होगा कि डायरेक्ट इंटरव्यू होगा कंपनी की
So,
साइड से
okay, so three ways are there. तो तीन तरीके हैं. Either they will be having a test portal जहाँ पे like you will get some coding questions or let's say HTML CSS के snippets you have to write. So that is one way. Otherwise, there is a direct interview. So, but that is highly unlikely. Like either a test or they will share an assignment. So they will share a let's say landing page of e-commerce site and बोलेंगे like after 3 days please submit this. So ऐसा हो सकता है. Okay.
अच्छा
Okay, so we'll be doing lot much things कि वो चीज़ easy हो. So that will be easy for us. That is not a big deal. The only thing we need to take care is like whatever JavaScript things we have. So I have compiled everything in over here. इसके बाहर से आई डोंट थिंक लाइक बिकॉज दिस इज way too much already. Like whatever there is in lecture I have already included that, and whatever outside the lecture I have also included in this. So uh, it is good. Otherwise I'll be so this is for Node.js and React, so there is a separate one for all of them. So when we move to backend, so we have a separate sheet for that. Okay, but this is enough. Okay, I guess this is enough. द ओनली चैलेंज इज कि ये सारे याद रहेंगे कि नहीं इंटरव्यू के दिन. सो दैट इज द ओनली चैलेंज. ओके, सो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड एवरीथिंग व्हाट वाज प्रेजेंट ओवर देयर.
हाँ
सो
हाँ
दिस
sure we'll take a note of it and we'll just revise when it's necessary as well.
yes. So maybe you can like say weekend. So whatever you do in a weekend, go and revise that. So that can be one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen and then let's get started. Okay, so creating a clock. So firstly, I want to introduce you to something so which will help in creating the clock. So that is basically okay. Let me open here itself. So there is something called as let date is it sorry. So let date is it was oh.
Excuse me,
Mhm.
क्या हम ये सेशन रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं because this project I need it if I want if I can watch it later again.
Oh, so I already have recorded lectures for the alarm clock. Okay, so I will share the link with you. Okay,
Okay, sure, sure.
and I'm also recording the session, so not an issue. Okay,
Okay.
okay. All right. So coming back to the point. So there's something date constructor. We call it date constructor. So let's see that. So this is date constructor. Like And what do we have? What do we have over here? So you can see that every information, time zones are related, time offsets are related, or the timing, date, days, so everything is over. How this is going to help? So you can see that we can say get date, and I can just call this function. I can sorry, so I can get the date. So this is the four you are getting. Similarly, I can um, say day over here, and I can press the um, day also. So day zero means Sunday, and rest of the things will follow. So milliseconds, seconds, date and time, everything is in over here. So we can deal with those things. So how to create a clock? Let's see that part. So for that, I can put a heading. Let's say S2, and I can say clock, and over here, and there's a div. Now this div will be filled with the clock information. What is the current timing? So I can say ID is equals to, let's say, clock. Okay, and basically like using this timing functions, date constructor, and how to do this. So we can simply say that set. Okay, set interval is just another thing. Okay, so we already know this one also. So running a function at regular intervals. Okay, now running at function at regular intervals. So for example, a clock which ticks on every second. So we can say that something like this. Okay, so 1000 millisecond or 1 second is the same thing. What do we want to do? So we want to say that calculate the date every time. Okay, so calculate the date every time. Okay, let's say new date, and so this is taking every time. So the date value will tick after every 1 second. And how can I display the date thing in over here using DOM? कैसे डिस्प्ले करेंगे यहाँ पे? Can I say
Console
that?
dot
Mhm. Document dot, I just need this div. So I can say
ID selector.
Get element by
yes,
Get
yes,
element by ID.
yes, and the clock. Okay. Now, what information do we want to set? So we want to set the inner text to something. Okay. How many of you know about template string? Okay. So this is a dynamic string. Okay. Dynamic string means string में variables भी लिख सकते हैं. So how can I write a variable? So see this. So you'll put a two backtick. Backtick is below the escape key, or we can say that date dot get hours. So hour minute second don't need the date. So r this colon sign, and the copies of get hour minute and second. So this is how we display the date. So this will get something else, and this is something else, just as you can get. So if it is going outside, so you can click on view, and you can say word wrap. Okay, and it will come down. So um, all right. Okay, so let's change this to get minutes, and finally we can change this to get seconds. So get seconds. So everything is already present. You do not have to like search anything. So this everything is present in over the date constructor, and that's it. So this is done, guys. Clock is okay. Not done. Like we'll create alarm clock and things. Okay, but yeah, the clock part is done. Okay, because I need to make a function call. Okay, so these are functions. I need to make a function call. Just a second. So and finally, right. So 50, 51, 52, 53, and so on. Makes sense, guys? Is it clear how to display a clock?
yes.
All right. This brings us to the next topic. How can I set an alarm? So setting an alarm means, um, so what do we do in an application? So we say that this hour, this minute, okay, and maybe the second. So seconds we do not choose. So hour, a minute is we mostly choose, and we can select AM PM. So let's keep it simple. AM PM we can avoid by using 24-hour clocks. Okay, so you can just avoid it. If you want, you can just put that logic also. So that is easy one, right? So you can put greater than 12, then PM, less than 12 the name. Okay, so but yeah, let's avoid that and let's keep things simple. So I will create a function alarm. Now I want to trigger this alarm based on a button click. Okay, so button click पे इस alarm को trigger करेंगे. So what this alarm will contain is, what's the basic idea? First thing first, take input from user. How the app works, अगर हम फ़ोन की बात करें या फिर like anything else, so how the app works, तो सबसे पहले तो we need to user need to type the minutes and seconds and let's say the hours. Okay, so let's take three inputs. You can say type and I can say number over here. Okay, let's supply the ID also. So ID is equals to um, let's say R R. Okay, copy paste paste. Okay, so this is for hour, this is for minute, and finally one for the second. Okay, so final one for the second. So how do we deal with it? So these three will take the input from us, and finally we will have a button. So which will the name is set alarm. Okay, and this is going to have a on click. So on click will be there, and this on click will be triggering this alarm function. So let's name it. So we should have always have meaningful names. Okay, meaningful names use करेंगे. Okay, all right. Okay, this is good. This is good. So let me copy this whatever function we want to trigger. So we'll do something like this. Now, okay. So I am taking the input. Okay. So how do I know key what is the input of these three fields? Can someone tell? How can I get that? What user is it has put there?
This dot. Okay.
Okay.
Using text content
Okay. So how by using DOM I can exactly get the value of input?
By ID, you can use
Okay. Document dot get element by ID R and then dot inner text.
dot inner HTML inner text here.
How many of you remember I have told there's an exception about input field. Don't use inner text.
There is an exception about.
Input field. We use dot value. Remember, guys? How many of you remember this? We just discussed it last day. Document. We don't say inner text. We say name and value pair. The form submission thing. Okay. Anyways, let's see this. So every DOM, if you say inner text and inner HTML you already know. Okay, that is pretty much clear. Key it will give the inner HTML. Inner text means whatever be the text content you can set or get it. But for input there is a separate case. You cannot say dot inner text. Inner text will not work on input elements. Instead, we need to use something as value. Okay, so remember, so we need to use value. Okay. So this is the R input, minute input, and second input. So R input and second input we can just avoid here because we do not have much time to wait for the alarm clock. Okay, we'll just use second. So this is R minute. So minute input and the final the second input. So you can say second and input. So this will get me the R. This will get me the minute. This will get me the second. Now, user values are with me. Okay, so user values are with me, and I want to trigger the alarm. So I have the current time. Okay, I have the current time, and I have the time the user has given me. Okay, so I have the current time. How do I have current time? So I can say uh, const current time is equals to date. So by date function, I can get the current time. Date dot now. Okay, let's discuss what is date dot now. So, guess what happened is okay. So, Google is giving warning using this console may allow attackers to impersonate or steal information. Okay, I'm not an attacker, so let's see this. So, when JavaScript language was when the developer developed this, so they made this date constructor. They said that time elapsed from 1st January 1970 to today in millisecond. So the time between 1st January 1970 to today's to, to the current time. So this is the millisecond which we have. So this is provided us by date dot now method. Got it, guys? Is the point clear? What is date dot now?
That's in milliseconds, right?
Yeah, all in millisecond from 1st January 1970. Okay, so I have the current time, guys, and I have the time the user is trying to give me. So, s- okay, but there is a catch. Can I use date or now? I have to use the date constructor. Okay, so I need a, okay. So how alarm clock function is the user is giving some time and there is a current time. So either that waits for the clock and the clock matches with the time that is get done. So either we keep on saying that like check every second if the current date times current hour minute second and the uh, hour minute second in the alarm clock both are matching, then we can trigger the alarm. Okay, let's use that logic only, so that logic can be used pretty much. So for that I need to use, okay, I need to use set interval. Okay, let's see set interval how it is going to help us in this also. Okay, so how is set interval going to help us? Now either we go with set interval, otherwise I am getting one more idea to do this alarm clock thing. So I have the current time with me and I have the time which the user has given me. Okay, I have the time, the current time with me and the time away, but that will that work? Hmm. So what I'm planning, guys, whatever time is given with me, I will just subtract with the current time, and I will get that. Let's say user has given what is the current time, so it is 8:29, right? If the user is giving 8:30, so I can subtract 8:30 to 8:29, and whatever time I get, I will run a set timeout. That is one solution. But can I use that?
So you mean to say like it's 8:29,
Mhm.
30. So one when the minus the user input given and the required is zero, the clock rings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Set.
What's the next one? Next logic.
Mm, okay, so that is one logic. So subtract the user given time and the current time, and whatever is the time difference, run a set timeout. So once that will live over, that means the time is up. Like time is the same time they will be ringing. So alarm will ring at the same time. But the other one can be every second I am running a set interval, and when the time is exactly the user input, it runs. So either I go with set timeout or either I go with set interval. Do you guys getting the approach? Both the approaches?
So set timeout is like an for loop, right? That runs every minute and just checks if the time matches.
Set timeout will run only once, so
Okay.
we need the time difference. User time, what user has given, and what is the current time, like the function is starting time. So we'll get the total time difference. And so what does set amount want? So set amount wants the please tell after how much time I will ring. So I will supply him the time difference. So that set amount will run at that time after that time. Hmm. Okay. So okay.
I
Okay.
guess we can
Yeah.
use set timeout, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's go with
Collect everything and then that will be easy. Like
yes. 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 Yep. Thank you. So let's go with the set timeout thing itself. So I already have the char minute and second thing. Now I will say whenever this function was called, I also had the current time. So I have new uh, date in over here. So current time is this one. So current hour, current minute, and current second. Okay, see this guys. So I will say, let me copy this. I can say R. So I can just remove this part and remove this one and the second I want. So I just remove this one. Now basically, do you need all these things? No. So I can say for this one, I can say current time. So current time dot get R. Okay. So current time dot get R. So this is one thing. I will copy this part and use paste it over. So this is the current hour, and I can say current minutes, and finally the current seconds. So I have the user given time, and I have my own like JavaScript time. Okay, so let me subtract and find the total millisecond we want. Okay, so I have the this one and I have this one. So let's find the uh, or I can do it here itself. I do not need to like do it separately. So I can say R difference. Let's copy this the difference, and finally the this one, the second difference. Okay, uh, what we can do is R input. So R input minus, okay, whatever the time I'm having. Then I will go with the minute input and the time I'm having, and finally the second input I will copy, paste it in over here, and this is what I'm doing. So set amount required the millisecond version of the elapsed time. So let's find the total milliseconds. So I will say um, let total milliseconds. Okay, so total milliseconds. For the total milliseconds, so we can say that R difference. So R difference is there, and R difference into 60, it will convert it into minute, and again into 60, it will convert into second. Okay, plus this is a minute difference, and into 60 will convert it into second. Guys, are you getting the multiplication part?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. This logic is clear. How we converted.
okay. So and finally to convert it into milliseconds, multiply all by 1000, right? So R connect like converted to seconds, minute converted to seconds, second is already second into 1000. Okay. So total milliseconds we have now, and that's it. So this is done. So we are done with alarm clock. So we'll say that maybe time's up or something else. So you can say time's up or whatever message you want to supply. All right, guys. So let's test this out. But before testing, let me put some console. Okay. Anyways, let's test it out. So I hope it will run because okay, the clock is still running. So let's test this out. Now here it comes. What is the current time? So 20, 35, and 50, right? So let's say 20, uh, 36, and 10. Okay. So let's see. It says cannot read properties null of reading value. So cannot read properties null of reading value. It means that we need to put something in over here which is hash, because I have used query selected, right? All right. So 20, then here comes the 36, and let's say 40. Okay, guys, getting the point?
Yeah,
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
got it.
So okay, so one people was asking like how can have multiple clock logic? So multiple clock, multiple alarm clock. So we can see that, but also, so how we can have multiple clock? So there is something we call as browser storage. So browser storage means if you have played online games, so they save the score. Okay, and you come back to the same website and you see the score. So how does this happen? Someone knows how does this happen? How browser remembers your data? I'm not talking about the logged in pages. Logged in pages, so backend database handle that. But there are some
Using the
pages. Yeah.
browser cache memory they use, I think.
Right. So we have browser cache memory. So let's see that part. So you can go to the application tab and you will find some storages in over here. These storages are related to the URLs you have or the domains you can say. So maybe you can go with the local storage. Okay. Either you can go with the cookies, Okay, cookies are for specific purpose. Either you can go with session storages, but local storage is something we can use. How we can use it? So I can say we'll study more about the local storage thing. Just a suggestion: if you get a task to have multiple alarm clock, you can use this. So local storage dot set item, and the item you want to set is, let's say, alarm one. So alarm one. So let's say alarm one. Okay, and you can set the value to, let's say, 20, 20 dash 40 dash 34. Okay, when you do something like this, so you can have multiple clocks over here, and when you go to application, you can see the alarm is saved. Even though we refresh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you can use a loop. So how to, so this is setting local storage and how to get that. So get item and set item, so you can use multiple alarm clock. Try this
Uh,
out. Okay.
even if we use command shift R, it still stays there.
Oh, okay. Caching delete. Okay, let's see that also. There's a good question. So let's do empty cache and hard reload. So let's go to application, and yes, it's still there. Okay.
Okay, okay, thank you.
So these come for infinite. Till your system is till our system is corrupt, and uh, it has been heated to 1000 degrees. It remains. Okay, means till you uninstall your browser. So when you uninstall your browser, data is clear. Okay. Otherwise, cookies. Okay, so there's a question. So the question was, do they last forever? So no. For the cookies, we have something called as expiry time. Okay. How many of you have used IRCTC or any banking application? And did you guys notice one thing? After 2 or 3 minutes, you get logged out.
Yeah,
Yes.
banking apps and phone pay apps, it always asks for login fingerprint.
Yes. So that is done by this cookie thing. So you see this expires thing over here. So this expire field takes care that this gets deleted, and once it gets deleted, you are treated as a logged out user, not a logged in user. Okay, so that is how it happens. So we'll see. We'll see in local storage. We'll see in front end, but cookies will see in back end. Okay. This brings us to the next thing. So we have created our alarm clock. We have created our clock. This brings to us the third thing. So how can we create a stopwatch? Stopwatch you have seen like that. You just click and the time start, and just click and the time stops. Okay.
Yeah,
This is very easy one. So I need input from you guys. How can I? So how can we create a stopwatch? So there's a stopwatch field. Let's have two buttons. The one button will be um, to start, and the other one will say stop. Stop. Okay, so start and stop. Okay, two functions on click, not on can play. It is for videos. So on click, and we can say start watch. Okay, and the next one will say, or we can use the same function also. Okay, how can we use the same function? Let's see that also. So we can say start watch, and we can pass a boolean over here. Okay, so on click. Okay, on click, and here it goes. We'll say start watch, we'll say false, and here it says start watch, we'll say true. Okay, so based on these true and false, we'll start or stop. But here's the point, guys. When I click the start, so the timing start. 1 millisecond, 2 millisecond, 3 milliseconds, 160 reached. So 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, and then minutes, then hours. Something like this is happening when you use a stopwatch. So what's the logic? One thing is for sure that we are going to use. What are we going to use, guys? Set interval or set timeout?
Set interval.
Yes, set interval will be used for sure. What is the next thing we need to use? We need to use. Okay, see this, guys. So this brings us to the next feature of our clock, and guys, you can put some styling. So I'm not using styling. You can put. So there, here is a part. One guy made a clock, the wall clock, and the hand was like just a rotating um, by the center. Okay, so there is a CSS property to do that. Okay, so there is a transform property in CSS which will uh, rotate your hand or hour or minute clock based on the timeout. Try that. That's super cool. Okay, so you have all the JavaScript thing. You already have the CSS part. Just you need to apply it. Coming back to the point. So start watch is a function which accepts a boolean. So the boolean is start. Okay, is start. Okay, so is start is true. So if is start is true, so it will start it, otherwise it will stop it. Okay, makes sense. All right, so I'll say if um, also let, in order to stop the interval, I need to store the set interval id. So set interval id. Okay, that's it. I can say that if not is a start means the command is for false and it becomes true. So I'll say clear, not timeout, clear interval, and simply supply the set interval ID, and that is it. Otherwise, on the other hand, I need to start a timer. So the timer should, when we click on start, it should start calculating the time. And hmm, for that, what can be used? Okay, see this, guys. Const current time. Here I guess date dot now will help us. So I'll say date dot now, not name, now, date dot now, and I have all the milliseconds when the timer was started, and after every elapsed millisecond, I will just okay. So after every elapsed millisecond, so I will say set interval. Okay, and here's the catch. So set interval ID we need to store. So this ID will be all cleared over here. Okay, so I need to use this one. Okay, so this brings us to something. We need to create our function, the callback function. The callback function will say that, hey, this was the current time when the function was called. It means the button was pressed, and after every millisecond. So let's call it on millisecond. That will be very fast to see. Calculating millisecond, right? 10 pound minus 3. Okay, let's see that. But the point here is, guys, I have that date dot now, and I have the, let's call it start a time, and current time should be inside. So this is current time, and this is the current time. Okay. Now current time I have, the start time I have. I just need the difference and display it accordingly. So I will say, guys, please use a const when the value is constant. Okay, so that is a very good coding practice. And with JavaScript, we should be like safe. Okay, so this is the current time. So current time will have obviously have more milliseconds than the start time any day. Okay, and this is the elapsed millisecond I have. Now I can say that. Now it brings us to something. I need to set in the stopwatch. So in the inside the stopwatch, I want to put the time, whatever time was elapsed. So I can say that document dot get element by ID. Okay, so query selector or ID, it doesn't. It's same thing. So stopwatch. Let me copy and come over here and paste it. All right, and we can say inner text. We can say inner text, and the inner text we can say that. Um, so I want all three things. I want the second, minute, and hour. Okay, so second, minute, and hour, or you can say millisecond, second, and minute. Okay, let's skip our part. So how to do this? Now I have all milliseconds with me. Okay, so from the millisecond, I can say elapsed minute. So elapsed minute. How can I find the elapsed minute? So I have the elapsed millisecond. Okay, so I need to count minute from it. So how can I do that? I have the elapsed total elapsed second. I need to find the so elapsed second is with me. I need to find the elapsed minute. How many minutes passed? So can I divide my time firstly by 1,000 first of all, which will make it to second, and can I say into 60, which will convert it to minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
so I can do this, right? But I'm actually not dividing it. I'm actually finding a modulus. Let me actually divide it. Not the question mark. Yeah, oh, it's good. Okay. But here is the catch, guys. It will throw me something with decimals, but I do not want decimals. So, what to do? How to deal with decimals? So I can say math dot round.
Map
Yes.
dot.
Yep. Yep. You guys did correct. We have everything already present in Java script, not in Java. Okay, but it's already there. So math.round will help us. And yes, I guess that's it. We do not need to give the rounds and overall. So elapsed minute is this one. Similarly, the elapsed is second. So elapsed second, I think copy the logic from here. So copy, and I can say that into 60. So whatever is just to divide it again. All right, and finally the milliseconds. Okay, so how to show the milliseconds? Let's do that also. So elapsed millisecond. Now see here, guys. There is a catch. When I have total milliseconds, so I need three things from it, right? I need a minute, seconds, and milliseconds. So we need to think a bit more so that we do not mess with the logic. So the point is, I have milliseconds. Okay, to get a minute from it, I can do whatever I like just did in over here, divide by 60 and then 1,000. So whatever be the rounded value I am getting, that will be my answer. But here's the catch: the rest modulus, the modulo value will be combination of both second and millisecond. How many of you are getting my point here?
Sorry, can you repeat again? The modulus will.
Okay, so when I divide this by elapsed time by 16,000, it will give me the okay. Just a second, guys. So the quotient will be our total minute, but the remainder will be my total seconds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the minute now the seconds I have is not. I do not have to again divide this. I can use whatever modulo this was giving to me. Are you guys getting the point?
Yeah, you can use the modulo whatever you get in the
Okay.
reminder, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that I divide. Okay. So I will say elapsed and modulo. So into, not 8 into 60. So I'm just dividing for the minute thing, the same thing we did in over here, but this time it is modulo. So whatever with the remainder, it means it is the second. Let's say 59. So 59 second and 61 second, both are different. So 59 second modulo will be 59, but 61 second will be 1 minute and 1 second. Are you guys getting the point?
Mm.
Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. Like, we do not see the wrong time. So, and the elapsed minute we got, whatever minute we are, like whatever seconds I have got, this is combination of, this is combination of, okay, so this will be combination of both second and millisecond. Okay, not only second. So I need to extract one more thing over here. Okay, so whatever I will be getting, I need to uh, divide it by 1,000. Okay, this last one, guys, and we'll check if we are, if our logic is going correct. So this is what we need to a bit very careful while designing this. Okay, I guess rest would work. So why am I getting an error? So expression x.
You missed a bracket there in the second line.
Oh, okay, okay. Mm, the first one is good. So this is also. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry, sorry. This equal to is not written
After the
over here. Yeah. So I haven't written something in over here. That's why. Okay. So this is the elapsed second we were having, and finally we are done. So this one is easy. So for milliseconds we do not have to do anything. I can simply say whatever be the elapsed millisecond is there. Just do something like this and divide it by. Will this work? So milliseconds are being moduloed by something like this. Okay, so this one is really taking some. So what will be the millisecond part? So whatever be the difference I'm having, it should be okay. I guess it should work. Let's see, guys. Okay, we'll check it out if something more is needed. But yeah, I guess that's enough. So elapsed minute, then okay, so this is one thing we need to take care, not the JavaScript part, the mathematics part, right? JavaScript part is simple, but what I was thinking was the part from mathematics end. Okay, but yeah, the functions wise, I guess we are good. So I already have this thing set up, and the stopwatch and the start ID and everything is in place. Let's see, guys, if we are doing the right thing. So I'll quickly have a refresh. Let's go to console and let's see. So I'll say start. It says cannot read property null of setting in a text, and why is that? Okay, so I have this stopwatch in over here, and I have all right. I guess this will solve the problem. Okay. So second is working fine, and I guess probably minute will also work fine. And the second is also appearing over here, which it should not appear over here. So
After a count of 100, I think it should.
yeah, after the count of 60, right?
Millisecond. Yeah, 60 maybe.
Okay. So second is working fine, and okay, let's see if stop is working fine or not. So stop didn't work, and why is that? Just a sec, guys. Are we getting this as a start correctly? Oh, all right. I need to return from here, right? There is no start and stop together. Fine. Okay, just see the space. So start. We'll fix the time. Okay, let's see stop. Uh, is it clear, guys? Any doubts in here? Yeah, already will just see why this is happening. But I guess the stopwatch part is at least clear.
Yeah, the stopwatch part is clear.
All right. Okay. Let's take just a more minute and see what we are missing in over here. So I am saying that I have the elapsed millisecond. Okay, millisecond I have from this millisecond. Okay, let's see over here and then we'll go over there. So let's say that millisecond which is elapsed is 13560 something this random. Okay, 9. Okay, so I want to get the millisecond. Okay, but before I get the millisecond, how can I get the minute from here? Can I say divide by 1000 for minute? So it will go to seconds. Then multiply by 60. Then again
60.
divide. Yeah, and
Again divide by 1000.
so first division by 1000 will take it to second. Okay,
Okay.
and next division by 60 will take it to minute. I guess so. This is good for minute. I guess at least.
Uh,
Uh, do you guys agree with this?
yeah.
Okay, so if we just read the value, it is saying that 135 second and 609 millisecond, guys. One,
135 second or 135.
yeah,
Yeah, 135. Yeah, 135 seconds. Yeah.
okay, and
So
609 millisecond.
120 seconds is to 120.35 means okay. 2.26 something. Okay.
Yep, yep, yep. So this is good for minute. Now, how do I get the second? So the same thing, just I do not need to do this. But here is the catch, guys. There's something wrong with this one. What is wrong with this one? I'm getting all the okay, I'm getting all the minutes, but I do not need this. I guess I need modulo 60. Are you guys getting the point?
This one's a little confusing.
Okay, 135 second will include 2 minute and 15 second.
Yeah.
So 2 minutes will be counted in minutes, no need to count again. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so the second part I want to display is only 15.
Okay. The next part completely is millisecond. 15.6
Yes.
millisecond.
Are you guys getting the point?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So elapsed divided by this logic. So this one may maybe a bit of investigation, not I can say like trouble because it's super easy. So this one is good. This one we messed up. So let's correct this part. All right. So this is elapsed, and finally I have okay. So I have this conversion. Okay, I have this second part with me. Uh, Now I have the total seconds with me. All right. Now how to get the? Can I say that a modulo of? Isn't it giving the same thing to us? Yes, it is going to the same thing to us. Hmm. So this is the second I am having, and so the total second. So let's say that anytime I am having uh, this much second. Okay, seconds I'm having. So how to get the milliseconds from in over here is, and we divide it by 1000. No, dividing it by 1000 won't give anything. Uh, Elapsed millisecond. So whatever time which I am not able to convert it to. Uh, okay, so this is the second we are having. So whatever time we are not able to convert, which means the remainder part will go with us. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is the key, guys. Okay. So I guess 609 will be the same thing, right? Why I'm thinking so much. So the 609 will do the same job, isn't it?
The 609 is the milliseconds, but
Mm,
it should be resetting, right? When it touches 100.
1000, right?
No, no, 100, I guess. I mean, like 609. See, let us say 13,000, 13,55609, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
is 2 minutes and 15 seconds and
Mm-hmm.
609 milliseconds, right?
Yes. Yes.
And this 609 must touch, after touching 100, it must, this 15 must touch a 16, right?
Yes. So 609 will touch 999. So at 999, it will, the next tick will make it zero and it will go to minute, right?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Right, right.
So the 609 is what we want. So I can say that. I'm just thinking elapsed time. So one. So what was the initial value? So 135609 is the millisecond I'm having, and okay, so I'm having this total millisecond, and I have the minute and second. Okay, I got the point. What we need to do. So can I say that elapsed minus what is the total minute we have? Elapsed minute. Okay, into 60 will give me the second, and into 1000 will give me the
Minute,
milliseconds. Okay, and
milliseconds,
yeah. So elapsed second I also have, and into 1000 will give me the milliseconds.
milliseconds.
Yes. So total milliseconds and minutes and seconds. Make sense, guys?
Elapsed milliseconds is equals to elapsed minus.
The minute, millisecond from the minute, and millisecond from the second. Okay, and whatever
Okay.
remains will go to the elapsed millisecond, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so this is the. I guess that's it, and we are good. Just a second, yes. Why it is going in minus? Because
Because we are removing that from that, no, when it is, because
okay, okay, just we'll check this one out. Okay. Uh,
okay, sure, sure.
yep, yep.
We'll try to
Yeah.
look into this.
Okay. So, guys, I hope all of you are getting the main logic, like apart from mathematics we are doing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the other thing we have in over here? So local storage you can use to have like if you want to set up more than one multiple clocks, so that thing you can have. And rest this thing I guess repetitive. So just a quick revision what we did already. So for displaying a clock, we said that set interval, and after every 1 second we are using the date constructor and we are setting the time. Next one, for the alarm clock, what we did, we said that take input from the user, and if you have the input with us, get the current time. So input from the user and the current time, calculate the total millisecond, and use those milliseconds for set timeout. That's it. One more thing, guys. What is the value? What is the data type of dot value? What do you think? Will it return a number or it will return a string?
String, I guess. It will return string.
And so this should have given error or not. So string minus a number.
Yeah.
Are you
Mm.
sure this should give an error or not?
Just once come back to the program.
See this. So I'm subtracting a string from a number. Will it give me error?
No, no, no.
Yes. So this is the property of JavaScript. It will
Yeah.
not throw error, right? But what if we do addition?
565.
Yes. So that's why it worked. Although I would highly recommend to guys, and please do not confuse. Why do not confuse? Because this is type number. It doesn't matter what the type of input is. Everything here will return you a
String.
yes. It doesn't matter what the type. It will always return every input, inner HTML, inner text, or value will always return you a string. So what you have to do? You have to do either you do this, okay, try to convert it to a number using the number constructor, or if you are confident enough that it is an integer, so you can go with parseInt. Okay, so parseInt or the number one. Okay, so both will do the job. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so it will throw you a number. All right, guys. Now this brings us to a very important topic, which is event propagation. Okay, what is event propagation? How does it work? Let's see that part. So the next thing is event propagation. What is an event?
Click or keyboard click or scroll.
Okay, any user interaction like with the page, maybe scrolling or is an event, right? So most of like almost all of them are events, and that are supported by JavaScript. Okay, so almost all of them are supported. So this brings us to our next part, which is event propagation. What is the event propagation? Let's say that I have a div, I have another div. I will say ID is equals to nested inner, and finally outer. Let's provide some styles to it. Sorry. The style says hash outer, and let's give it some height, let's say 400 pixels, some width, let's say 400 and pixels, background color, let's say that. Because how many of you know about linear gradient? we'll talk about gradient also today. So this is inner, outer, and finally the nested. And let's make it 300 pixels. Let's make it 300. Choose some other color. Alright, and alright, and let's make it 200. Now these three of them have something as on click. Okay, on click. Let's say that on clicking on this one, it says that console.log outer. Okay, on clicking on this one, this says outer. Similarly, these two have over here. Let's see this, guys. There are three nested diffs in over here. All of three of them are having something called as on click part. Okay, and these three are anyway. So I'm printing a console based on the on click and nothing else, and there are some styles over it. So that's it. Nothing more have been added. I will copy. Let's paste it in over here. Okay. See this part, guys. Let's see the codes once again. So three nested diffs based on click. It will print outer, inner, and the nested. Okay, and this is the style. Now, here's the question: what will be printed when I click on the innermost?
The innermost color, the pink, I think it will.
So it should print nested, right?
Yeah, nested.
All right. Let's see. So it's printing nested inner outer. How many of you are getting the point?
Because it's overlapped, right?
Okay, so it's overlapped, and
So it's taking all the three aways.
okay, let's click on this one. Only outer was printed. What will
Yeah.
be printed in the second one?
So inner and outer,
Why is this happening?
because it's taking the both like the. It's like it's taking like overlap.
Okay, okay. So pretty much the same thing. What we are mentioning, the overlapping part. The point here is, guys, this is happening due to something called as event propagation. It means that whatever the listeners are there in the path means window to document, document to HTML to body to outer div to inner div to nested. So every click listener along the path will be triggered if I click on this one. So everything will be triggered in path. If I click this one, so everything will be triggered in path. Every listener will be triggered. This happens because of something called as event propagation or event bubbling. Is the point clear, guys?
Hmm.
Yes.
All right. This brings us to the next part. So, one thing is to catch here is whenever we are adding a listener, we must be aware of the parent listeners. We shouldn't be directly attaching a listener if this is a complex. This is a very simple page, right? We do not have much selectors. But imagine if there is a bigger page and there are lots of item inside it. For example, the e-commerce site, you see there are lots of actionable items. Everything is clickable. Just click on something and it will open a new page. So you have to be very, very precise whatever consoles or the on clicks you are putting. First point. Although you can have a prevention over here, okay? So you can have a prevention. You can say that, hey, just do for this one, and I do not want my event to be propagated. This is also possible. Let's see. So here's a script I have written. So the script, let's write the script. So this function, um, stop propagation. So how to stop this behavior? So propagation, and this propagation receives the event object. Okay, and this event object will be used. Now there's a stop propagation I can use in the nested one. I want to use it in over here. So let's use it in over here. So this is it, and event. Okay, so I'm passing the event over here, and this will say console.log, console.log, nested. Okay, the next thing will be event dot stop propagation. Stop propagation, spelling is correct, I guess. Yeah, event dot. So we can stop the propagation with the help of, all right, let me change the name so that I don't mess things up. Stop a propagation handler. Stop propagation handler. Okay, so this is it. I guess this will do the job. Let's see. So this time outer, inner and outer, and just nested. Do you guys get how to stop the propagation?
Yes.
All right. So now this can be helpful also. It doesn't mean that it is we should be preventing it every time. So how am I doing this? Stop propagation. This can be helpful also. How it can be helpful? So see this, guys. Have you seen that uh, the, uh, the Excel Google Excel sheet, Google Sheets? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So the attendance part we do on that. So you see there are lots of cells over there, and every time you write something in that cell, it gets saved at instant. Have you guys noticed that it saves to the Google Drive every time you do
Yes.
something? So in order to do any function, what we have learned till now is that every time we do something, we must run a function, a handler. So tell me, guys, what do you think? Every cell in that Google Sheet is having a on-click listener.
Yeah. On its own, of its own.
So
Everything is a
how many of you agree with this point, or how many of you disagree with point? There are 10,000 or let's more than cells over here. So are all the cells having on-click? I guess there's something which is not correct. This statement doesn't make sense. How can we have
mm,
10,000 click listeners that will like blast our browser with events?
Maybe row address and something column address.
Okay, okay. Observe this, guys. What happened was when I was clicking on nested, inner was triggered and outer was triggered. So even if my nested has no on click, even if my nested has no on click, if I click on nested, what do you guys think? This should have been triggered. Even I do not have
Yes,
this,
yes.
these two will still be triggered.
Yeah,
It means that parent is listening even if the current box is not listening.
yeah.
So the
yeah.
so the same thing happens over here. You do not have to put listener on every one of them. Just put the listener on the parent. Okay, let me put it. So I will say click handler, and you will see. So okay, here is the second question. But how will the how will we know which box was clicked? That is a very important question. Suppose which cell is saved means maybe Aziz marks someone else attendance. So How do we know? How do we check it? So it means that who is making the attendance, that cell is also recording some information. How is that done? Let's see that also. So one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so this is all. The point here is click handler. So the click handler will say function click handler event, and let's first print the event and let's then move forward. So the event comma event, and let me give the border to table tr and td. I guess td needs border, tr do not needs border. So border 1 pixels solid black. All right, guys. Let's see that. Where's our table? Okay, that is very magnified. Okay, okay, just a second, guys. See this, guys. I will click on 5. Okay, I will click on 1 and I will click on 9. Okay, see this. So 5, 1, and 9. How do I get 5 was clicked? So you can see that I have something called as target. You see target over here. So the event object already has a information which we call as just a second, guys. I need to print one more thing, which is event dot target. Okay, see this. Refresh. It says cannot read properties undefined of reading target. Obviously, because I need to print it over here. Target. Okay, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I do not need listeners on each of them. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how things work, and this is possible due to the behavior of event propagation or event bubbling. All right, guys. This brings us to something else, and that is, so bubbling is happening from the specific target to upwards. How so? Bubble is so when you see water boiling, so the bubbling is means coming from bottom to top. So bubble comes bottom to top. So this is going from the target to the root. There is one more thing which is coming from root to target. Okay, and that is called as event capturing. How this event capturing works? Let's see. So my body will say on click on, okay, let me attach a listener to it. Okay, I'm trying to attach a listener to my body, and I will say that document, not do, document dot body dot add event listener, and please do avoid, do not put listener to body. That's not a good thing, although I'm putting in the class because I need to explain something, but this is not a good idea because there are lots of events happening on body, and this will blow our ram. Okay, and it will hamper the page performance. Okay, so we shouldn't be adding event listeners. Okay, so with power comes responsibility. Okay, just kidding. So add event listener, and the listener is click. Okay, and so the things we are to print is console, and let's say uh, event happened. Event happened. Event happened. I want to show you something. Okay, so see this, guys. So add event listener to the body click. and the click on this any on of the button. Okay, see this. So bubbling we have already seen. Why did this happen? This was not required. Yeah, this is good now. Let me have a quick refresh and let me remove this. So I will click on 5, but body was, why didn't it run? Anything I'm missing? All right. So document dot body dot add event listener, and why is this not working? Hmm. Okay. Should be working. So add event listener on click and console log dot event happened. Why is this not working? So add event listener, we have the event, and this should be it. What am I missing? I'm missing something. So body is here, and so this is running before onload, which shouldn't happen because it is inside the body. So this should work, but this is not working. Mm, Okay, see this guys. I have a solution. So function, not function, so it's function. So function on body load. So there's a event which is onload. Onload marks that our body has been completely loaded. So body will take a function which is on load and say what is the name of the function. So on body load, on body load. Okay, and let's call this. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Why is it printing on? Okay, this is so strange. Why it is printing? Because we are doing one thing wrong, which is we shouldn't be calling the function. We should pass the function, not call the function. And I guess this will work good now. Okay, quick refresh. See this. So clicking on 5 and clicking on any of the buttons. So bubbling. Bubbling means child is clicked. Okay, child is clicked. Table is getting it. Table is getting it, and body is getting it. Now capturing says it's just the reverse thing. What do I mean by reverse thing? See this, guys. There is a third argument which my event listener takes, which is a boolean argument. Okay, and we call it capture. Okay, so first one is the type, second one is the function, third one is a boolean option which we say capture, and the capture is true. So see this, what happens. You see the sequence of events. Now there is a change. Let's see the change. I will refresh it. Let's click this again. What is the change you guys see here? Did you guys notice the change?
Yeah, the it's coming first. Event happened. Parent one is coming first. And then the table.
Yes. So, firstly, parent is getting the event, and then the child is getting it. And you'll be surprised to know this is the original order. Okay, so this is the correct order how things travel. So, whenever you click something now, so Windows triggered, then document, then body, and then you come inside. So, if you want to do this while it goes to the target, okay, so this is the first step of event happening. So it is called as event capturing. Then the second one is the event, and third one is the event. What is the third one? Event.
Propagation.
bubbling, right?
Yeah.
So that is the,
Bubbling or propagation.
yeah, yeah, bubbling or propagation. So this is the, these are the three steps. Okay, so just a quick doc on this one, guys. JavaScript, JavaScript. Okay, so I have it over here. And did I add it in the document? I have also added in the document. So this is called bubbling and this is capturing. Okay, so bubbling is from bottom to top, and capturing is just the opposite. You see this? So this is the capture phase. Window document, HTML body, TRTD, and this is the TD. Second one is the target phase. First phase, go to the target. Second phase, the target phase, event dot target, and third one is the bubbling phase, going back. All right, guys. Are we good here, guys? Any doubts in this one?
No.
All right. So this is it for the event propagation and things. Okay. I hope you guys liked it, and yeah. So we'll be starting with probably closures and scopes next day. Okay. Today is 4/9 into Sunday. All right, guys. Please mark the attendance and let's meet the next week. All right, guys. Bye.
Can you share the lectures recording? I mean, like, I want to watch this again.
Lectures recording. All right. So, um, okay. Do I have it open over here? I do not want to open YouTube because I'll have. So I have all the links on YouTube. Okay. Okay. I will just give the channel link itself. Okay. Just ping me, DM me on WhatsApp. Okay. Separately.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.